Welcome everybody. Please bear with all the noise outside, but hey, let's have a conversation today. Welcome. Not drinking coffee at the moment. I'm drinking hot chocolate. I don't know if you can see that. Hot chocolate. It's actually not the hot chocolate that you buy in supermarkets, Nestle and all that. It's the hot chocolate, which is raw cacao, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So welcome everybody. Again, apologies for the noise, but hey, let's talk about something really interesting and fascinating. Vibrating at heaven, or vibrating in heaven or hell on earth. Great title, I would say. Great title. Came to me last night about 2 o'clock in the morning. I woke up and it was normally happens. It's called channeling on an evening, and you're astral traveling, as all of us do. It's just most of us seem to forget because we're out of balance with our body, and actually through the night we heal people, we help people, and we guide people as the consciousness that we are. I'm not talking about every consciousness in these spacesuits. I'm talking about you and I, who are filled with love, kindness, compassion, those that want to make a difference, share, care, gift, and just be kind. I'm talking about you. So vibrating at heaven and hell, it's an interesting concept. It really can make sense if we just sit down and think about it. Everything in this world either vibrates at a high or low frequency. High being heaven, low being hell. Is there such thing as heaven and hell? I don't believe there is. I believe there are certain places in the cosmos that the consciousness that lies within that consciousness has a very low frequency, which we could perceive when they're actually in these spacesuits, and the way they behave as demonic, evil, and they belong in hell. And they probably do belong in hell because they come from hell, or what we call low vibration. So when they cause pain and suffering, it's very normal to them. That is their normal behavior, to cause issue and pain and suffering. So like I always say, if somebody falls over, there's two types of people. There's one that run over, two types of consciousness, one that runs over and helps and feels the pain and suffering of that person who's on the floor, or the other one who's sniggering, laughing and enjoying the moment of the blood, and hopefully there's going to be more pain and suffering and more drama, so that they're stood there enjoying and feeding from that. So what do you feed from? Do you feed from somebody who's in pain and dying of cancer and suffering, and somebody who's been bombarded with nasty hate mail? Or do you feed from somebody who sends love and kindness, and somebody who shines bright, somebody who's doing extremely well in the world and making a difference and sharing information that really truly helps? I know what I vibrate at. So we both, both of us, I'm speaking to you, we both have a choice of how we want to vibrate on this earth. And there are many different forms of hijacking towards how you vibrate. So ultimately, if you're left alone, you will vibrate at a high frequency. But that's not good enough for those that control this world. And I've always said this in the 20 years that I've been working. We are controlled, we are manipulated daily by forces that vibrate at very low frequency. Why? Because they want to feed. They want to see people fall over and hurt themselves. They want to see people in pain, suffering. They want to see people sick and ill. And there are many reasons why they want to see them sick and ill. The main reason is because they feed from them. But secondly, is because they feed from them out of their pockets. So they make money on you. As soon as you're sick, you run to the very people who run that organization, or those organizations that claim to be able to help you. So it's interesting how we can determine the world by observing, and most of us are kind of nil and void of that, because we've been hijacked from a baby. We've been hijacked from the very moment we're born, and sometimes prior to that, because our mums and dads have been through the very same programming, the very same hijack. So we have to break free from that. And I think ultimately now there's never been a more perfect time to break free and to see through the veil of darkness and entity and bad energies. So point being is, what do you vibrate at? Do you vibrate at heaven or hell? today you might be vibrating at hell. You might be vibrating at such a low frequency because of all what I've just said and much more. I've just touched upon a fraction of a surface of how many different forms of low vibration come at you. It could be on the TV, it could be on the black screen, on your little phone. It could be watching something really awful. That why is it always death? Why is it always showing you pictures of children being blown up? Why is it always that they're playing the most awful things, and why are people beating each other, and why are they showing that all the time? When you see the bigger picture, like I've just explained to you, they feed from that. They feed from you. So the more hell they produce on earth, the more they feed from your fear and worry and compassion. See, they can change your positive energy to negative energy. So they can change your heavenly energy into hell energy. And that is for all of us. We can vibrate. So soon as we feel fear, soon as we feel suffering, soon as we feel a lack of understanding of what's going on, like the world is crazy, none of this makes sense. This absolutely is nonsense. Soon as you start vibrating at that frequency, what happens is they feed from that entity, negative energies we create, which then make hell on earth. And it's true, I've been bombarded daily, and it's hard to find the balance, guys. It's hard. Sorry for saying guys, I mean girls, and whatever you want to be, whatever you feel you are is fine. But it's hard to vibrate at a frequency that is pure love and healing when you see so much lies and deceptions and manipulations. So half of my friends left me 4 years ago and never want to speak to me again because they kind of get it, and they say, well, if you get it, Mark, why are you talking about all the negative things when you know it's just going to make things even more negative? The other half of the people, when I don't say anything negative, say, hang on, Mark, surely you should be telling people about, jib jabs and all that, because it's going to make them sick, and negative energies and all of these things that are demonic and dark. So it's very, very hard to please the human mind. It's not the consciousness. Your consciousness is fine, it understands everything. But when you are so disconnected from the consciousness, when you are so in with all of this idea of what it should and shouldn't be, and you become almost like entrapped in your own bubble, it can be very, very disconnecting for everybody to see you as either balanced. So I don't judge that, but I do say to people every day, if there's a pothole in the road and you're on a push bike and you're about to go in that pothole, I'm going to stop you whether you like it or not, because I don't want you to go in that pothole. Now, if I stopped you and said, look, stop, mate, and you'll say, look, I'm busy. What are you doing? What are you doing? Leave me alone. Like, I could say, you know what? Forget it. Be on your way. Good luck with you. I could do that, but I don't do that. I can't do that, because whether you're angry at me or not, because I've stopped you, if you fall in that pothole, I'm going to feel bad and guilty, and I'm going to run over and help you and wish I'd not listened to you, because that's just your brain talking. That's just your brain saying, you don't listen, we should be doing this, should be doing that. Your consciousness, I'm speaking to, and I'm helping your consciousness by way of, protecting you and your body. So ultimately, every doctor, every nurse, every mum and dad and sister and brother and grandma who stood up and stopped everybody and said, no, please don't keep going on that bicycle. Basically what we said is, please don't go into them rooms and get injected, because we believe that there's something bad going to happen to people. And we were mocked, ridiculed. Even now, people will not, because of this brain, will not say sorry. They will not apologize. No matter how many children drop down dead, no matter how many football players, rugby players, tennis players drop down dead, they will not acknowledge, out of pride and out of ego and out of the brainwashed mentality of schooling system. Can't be wrong, can't be wrong, either wrong or right, can't be wrong, can't be wrong. If you're wrong, you're going to be punished, you're going to be punished. Can't be wrong, you're going to be punished. Mr. Bajerski, you're wrong. Outside, Mr. Bajerski, outside, you're a thicko. You see how it's created? And that is teachers. Many teachers did that because they were part of the program, even though they didn't know. So we have to unlearn this, and we have to stop people and say, no, don't go into that medical center, because we think that if you do, something might happen and it might not be good. I have a bad feeling. Like, stop, please don't go any further. Trust me, there's a pothole there and you're going to hit it and you're going to fly off your bike and you're going to be in pain and suffering. You're going to cut, you're going to break your arm. I'm just helping you, pal. So it's difficult as I'm trying to relay this message to you in ways of potholes, of what happened 4 years ago and what is happening now, and the fact that we are at a point where people are just zoom, eyes closed, blind by the fact that, oh yeah, sudden death, oh yeah, it's always been it. People die all the time. So you understand this vibrating at a frequency of hell. By these people doing this, we're going, this makes no sense. Nobody dropped down dead with a heart attack at 18. Did you ever hear, anybody ever hear that? For 4 years prior to, did anybody hear people dropping down dead of myocarditis? Seriously? Anybody? No. So what are you saying? So you can see the frustration that comes out of us, and now you can feel it over like, whoa, Mark's a bit passionate. Yeah, I am. I've been passionate 5 years, 7, 10 years, 20 years, passionate at things that don't make sense. And the truth is ridiculed. The truth is mocked. The truth is whipped. The truth is, at this moment, imprisoned. Imprisoned. You imagine doctors being imprisoned now in Spain for talking about myocarditis and the link between jib jab? Seriously, they're in prison. Not just Spain, all over. And it gets even worse. A lot of them disappear. Did that person, that doctor, just die? What, he killed himself, did he? Oh yeah, of course he did. Yeah, of course he did. Yeah. So you've got all of these things over these 4 years, and every day there's a reminder that, you know, my consciousness was right. What it said 4 years ago is now coming to fruition. And I wish, and I know we all wish we were wrong. Totally wish I was wrong. And I would hold my hands up and say, you know, guys, I got that one wrong. Totally. I really thought it was bad, but it was actually good. Everybody's fine. Everybody's healthy. Come on. You know, so I listen to my consciousness. I don't listen to I battle. If you see any of my old posts, it talks about telling your mind to shut up. Now, I'm not telling you to tell your mind to shut up, but I had to tell my mind to shut up because I have a donkey mind. I am stubborn. So stubborn. I'm a lot better now, but nobody can come along and tell me something without me studying it and looking at it and testing it and trying it and experiencing it a while. And then I'll say, okay, you might believe what you're saying is right, but I'm not going to believe you just because you believe it. And nobody should. You shouldn't believe me. If what I've been speaking about these past 4 years, I didn't want you to believe me. I wanted you to go out and do the research. You know what bothers me, and these things that bother me a lot now, is that all the famous people now who've suddenly become famous, the Jordan Petersons and the so-ons, they're in no position to talk about anything. They shouldn't even be on a platform. You are in no position, Mr. Peterson, to talk about anything when you told everybody to take the jab. You are in no position for what you have done and what you told people to do and what people went and did, and now they're dropping like flies. You are in no position to speak about anything. You'll be gone with you. You should have gone and hid away a long time ago, because what you did was horrific, and the consequences of that is being shown now. However, it's okay. Do what you want. But like I said, we've got this feeling inside us that can so easily erupt into hell, so easily vibrate into the wrong frequency. So what have you learned, Mr. Bajerski? Even though you get frustrated, even now you're frustrated by even thinking about these things because you're passionate. Yeah, I am, totally. I do give a shit, that's why. And like, but what have you learned then? Well, I've learned that I understand energy. and understanding energy is everything. And I remember having a discussion with a guy, a philosopher, on well, he claimed to be a philosopher. It was about 12 years ago, and we were talking, and I mentioned energy, and he said, "Oh, anybody who mentions energy, it's time to leave." And I'm like, how can you be a philosopher if you don't understand that everything is energy? Everything that you are is energy, that your vibration is energy, and without that, you are nothing. Every fruit, every plant, every tree, everything breathes in and out, everything is energy. Put two eggs together, the small side together, put them, you'll find that if you put it on a perfectly flat space, they will move because they'll go opposite, they'll push apart. Why? Because of energy. Because the energy in there, the life force of I'm not talking about old eggs that have died. I'm talking about eggs that are growing. You put them together, and you'll see it. It's real. Life force is real. Energy is real. So vibrating at hell has so many consequences, dire consequences for you. So what is vibrating at hell? It comes in different frequencies, and the worst one, and you would think the worst one would be demonic energies, but I actually think the worst one is our own creation of hell energy. And that is what I'm just talking about now, and what you can see from me with a passion. That energy that is frustration, is anger, is rage, is fear. They're all very similar. They're all slightly different in frequencies as you look at them, just like every sound has a different frequency. Every level of, tuning fork has a frequency. Every part of the body has vibrates at a frequency. That's why if you get a singing bowl and use it, depending on what frequency that singing bowl is, if it matches up to the frequency of your heart or your liver or your head, or clearing, let's say, cancer, you can actually clear and heal every single body part with a frequency. And we know this as sound therapists, we know this as energy healers, we know that this with the same as the frequency of the sound, which is normally from crystal, which is normally utilized by fragments or like powders from the very, sorry, this is so annoying. I'm used to it now, guys. Everywhere I go, I'm just stopped all the time, and that isn't ego, it's just I'm stopped all the time. This is why this started, because it knew that there was going to be this bullshit COVID narrative for 4 years. That's why this started, and they knew they could stop me. I would have been on a real roll without that most days, but that just stopped me. It just puts you off. As you can hear, it'll put you off. So yeah, the frequency of singing bowls, good singing bowls, not cheap Chinese singing bowls. I'm talking about singing bowls that are created in the ancient ways. And these singing bowls which are utilized by the very nature of Mother Earth, which is a crystal. So when you get the crystal from the ground, which is either quartz, wherever it may be, and utilize it in the singing bowl, it has a frequency and a sound. Well, this crystal like I'm wearing today, which is black tourmaline on mother stone, a bit of matrix there, gorgeous, that vibrates at a frequency of healing the heart. And it does. It is a frequency, it heals a heart, and it heals certain frequencies like the closest thing we say it heals to, in my humble opinion, you'll have a different opinion, but I noticed this over the years of my clients lying down and me putting black tourmaline on somebody, is that it healed grief. So the heaviness of what we create because of what's happened, and we lost a family member, and we can feel it, we think it, and then it drips down into the heart and stays there, and we create it in the heart, which is ultimately a battery. It heals that battery. It helps that battery in so many ways. It clears, it just blasts and strengthens the heart, so there is no regret. There is no oh, I wish I should have, coulda, woulda with my family who's now no longer here, and that grief of not having to hold them, and I can't hold them and talk to them. This helps. It's a frequency. So if I break this up into powder, put it into a kiln and create a singing bowl, it will vibrate at that very frequency that will heal the heart. That's my truth. That's what I believe. You might have a completely different take on it, but that's my truth. That's what I noticed and what resonates with me through experience. So when you are creating a thought, it's important what thought it is, because if you're creating a negative thought, what happens is that negative thought, it hangs around and then it kind of moves about a bit depending on how heavy that energy is. And you'll find that that negative energy, you'll always be reminded of that negative energy. So you think of a bad thought and then through the day you'll always think about it. If you cleanse yourself, if you do a full cleansing with sage, Palo Santo, you use oils, natural oils, you self-heal, if you learn how to self-heal, meditate, cleanse yourself, cleanse your thoughts, put beautiful music on which you're healing, that thought is melted away and it's gone. So it's no longer there, so you're not thinking about that. That's why a lot of healers do this cutting of cords, you know, because there is definitely an energy of a cord from, you know, one of the strongest ones is mother to child. So the cord of the umbilical cord, a lot of people cut cords here, but I like to cut cord at the belly because that belly cord is always there. And if you can cut that, you find that there's less and less stress of a mother's fear and of a daughter's worry of the mother's fear. You get it? So if I'm worried about my daughter every day, my daughter's going to feel reaffirmed that everything is going to go wrong because I'm worried about her. So if I cut that, she won't feel that fear from me. Okay? Well, I haven't got a cord, but mine would obviously come from the up here. So I'd cut that away. But a mother I'd cut here as well as here. And sometimes if it's of the heart, if it's an affair of the heart, you cut from the heart. Anyway, it goes on and on and on. But the point being, I skip and I shoot around all the place, but I come back to where I'm meant to be in the end. But point being is, every thought that you hold either creates heaven inside you and around you or hell. And if you create hell, then the next part would be that your body will start to live in a sewer, in a cesspit of this energy which you've created or somebody else has shown you, so that then you create, because it's ultimately whatever is shown to you, you have the choice to whether you reject it or embrace it. So I embrace nasty people, now I am filled with nasty people. I embrace that nasty comment, I am now that nasty comment. I don't embrace it, send it back in the sense that, wow, that person's in a bad place and thank God I'm not like that. It's a good way to say it. It's a good mantra. I don't like saying mantras, but it's a good thing to say, thank God I'm not like that. Bloody hell, they must be in a bad place. By doing that, I keep myself cleansed and clean and continue through my day being healthy, eating healthy, walking in Mother Nature, getting sun, doing all the right things that keep me strong and in that energy of protection. If you're not strong, you can't protect yourself. No matter how much you try and protect yourself, if you're in a bad place, you can't. That's why so many healers say, oh, you know, if you heal, it doesn't matter if you're in a bad place, you're receiving healing. No, that ain't true. Sorry, ain't true. If you're in a bad place, you can't give healing because you're in a bad place. Just like if I'm in a bad place, it's hard for me to clear things away. It's easy for it to come into me because I'm in a bad place. Get it? So you're just receiving bad energy. So you have to learn to be the most powerful natural cleanser, doctor, whatever it may be, for your body, mind, body and spirit. So you have to be the psychologist, you have to be everything these days, and you have to work on yourself totally. That's why when you are feeling good, that's when you can go out and be good to people. If you're feeling bad, what does a dog do when it's feeling bad? It goes and lies down on its own because it knows that its energy isn't good and it don't want to spread that energy to you. It knows it needs to heal itself, so it needs to lay down and re-energize itself by drinking water. So we follow the nature of animals as we used to do a long time ago. The ancients used to follow animals. They used to watch them and say, oh, what they're eating. Oh, I wonder why they're eating that. Oh, and then they realize that flipping heck, they're eating that because of this reason, that reason. Animals show us what we need to know. They really are incredible, and they know absolutely energy. Not only do they see it, they smell it, they understand it, and that's why they run to you, they hug you, they kiss you, they're all over you. You know, the kissing is a little bit more of wanting food, but you know what I mean. They're happy to see you and all that, and yeah, it's fascinating. So this way of healing the body, when you work on yourself and you heal yourself, that's fantastic. You hold one hand out, which you're receiving through that hand. It's a natural thing. If you look at all the pictures, it's always about the hands. One hand here, one hand here. And that means that I'm receiving and I'm giving. So as healers, of pure energy healers, as our technique is always with the hand, one hand out and one hand scanning the body till we feel, oh, hang on a minute, something's happening here. Tingling of the fingers, pins and needles, hot, cold, whatever the feeling is, just stay there. And just work on it. Oh, I've got another pain now. You work on there, you go up there. Oh, I can feel that, and just work there. Okay, and then what happens is you're fixing the grid. This is in Lerman terms. You're fixing the grid of the whole body. So when there's a part what needs welding there, you fix it there. You move to the next part, and eventually your whole body is functioning properly. That's not really how it works, but it's easy to explain. So by way of healing yourself, you're stronger. And if you're stronger, you find that things don't bother you as much. Things don't enter into your energy as much. They can, but not as much. And you're not affected as much because your energy is strong. If your energy is strong, if your energy is shining bright, then you go on to the next level where entity, trapped spirit, demonic energies, and all of those things, they just can't vibrate at the same frequency. They don't come anywhere near you. They only come near you when there's an opening, a gap, where there's an issue, where there's a problem. And when you have a problem and an issue, they're straight in there. And they love that because that's what they feed from. And we need to talk about this more and more and more. And we are doing. We're being more open. One time I used to say, let's not talk about demonic. Let's not talk about entity. And you know, maybe we talk about trapped spirit because it's kind of like easy for people to get. Trapped spirit is a little bit easier, in my humble opinion. It was easier to talk about. But entity and demonic energies and all of that stuff, it's a little bit more challenging for people because then they become fearful. Like, yeah, you saw it, it's gone, don't worry. It's not a big deal. So I never used to talk about it. Many years, when I was a full-time practitioner, there was never a day that I talked about. Even when people could see in themselves that they're attacked by something demonic. It doesn't matter, it's gone. Nothing to talk about anymore. Nothing to even worry about. What happened? You just need to keep yourself happy. You need to work on yourself. You need to eat well. You need to look after yourself and be happy. And you need to clean your environment. You know, you give people information to go away and utilize as tools, and then there's never a problem. I never got an issue ever, only from liars, people who were lying. And I like, you're lying. There isn't an entity attached to you. You're doing this because you're going through a terrible situation. You're on medication, which, you know, is not good. You're drinking a lot, which is not good. And, you know, and making stories up, and, you know, you want somebody to love you. You want somebody to pay attention to you. So you've seen something on TV. You've heard a so-called healer saying that you've got attachments, and then that's it. You're hooked for life. That's it. I've got attachments and I've got demonic energies, and that's me. That's who I am. It's like, never felt right to talk about them. But now I am mentioning them more. And the reason why is because something's changed. Something's happened. The world isn't the same anymore. Ultimately, things are far more darker and far more difficult. And things are changing. And the dimension, this place where we are right now doesn't feel the same place. When you talk to people, it doesn't feel the same. Everything has changed on a level that is very, very difficult to explain. And these noises and these interruptions always seem to be more and more and more when you're talking about something that you know is important. I was going to talk about something this morning, and then somebody came and sat right next to me, pulled his seat up and turned and looked at me while I was talking to you guys. I'm like, you just can't make this shit up. And they don't even know they're doing it. And I know I get these people saying, no, it's because you're shining a light. No, it's because I'm talking about something that is vitally important that somebody might need to know that day. And these people are used by dark forces. They don't even know it. They're utilized. I mean, when I was in ballet, right, and I was at a place called at the park, and I've got to say, it was the biggest ego trip that I've ever seen. And for me, I don't want to go back there again. And the reason why is because everybody was on their phone, whether it was in the gym, whether it was walking about, whether it was sat down, they were all constantly doing lives. And it was all about their clothes. They were all wealthy young people talking about how amazing they are and look where I am in ballet. And wherever somebody was sat doing a video, I'd be off. I won't be anywhere near them. One, because I don't want to interrupt them. I don't want to interrupt their flow. And two, it's none of my business. But when I turn the phone on, there isn't a clown out there that doesn't want to come and sit right by me while I'm doing a video. And I know it's not their fault. They're just easily led to do these things, and their lack of understanding, their lack of connection to their intuition and consciousness and just morals is like, why are you sat in front of me when you can see I'm doing a video, when there's 50 seats everywhere else? This ain't no different. It isn't either hotter or colder. There isn't no reason. You sat here because you've been put there. And you've been put there to stop me from speaking. Because you've turned your seat and you're looking right at me. I'm like, really? But it's like, I've got used to it now, and I'm realizing that this is a force that is becoming stronger and stronger. And I talk about CERN, I talked about HARP, DARPA, I've talked about all the military industrial complex. I've listened many years ago on Richie Allen radio show to Barry Trower. I've listened to loads of people talk about this kind of stuff. And it's so true, it's so evident what's happening. And the portals that are happening and the energies that are changing and the way the world is, it's all changed. It's not the same world we live in. So, to summarize, to put it in a nutshell, look after your body, eat healthy, stop taking poisons, stop swallowing tablets every day, try your best to keep away from alcohol, try to eat nothing but organic food if possible, try and keep away from everything out of a supermarket, do your utmost best to try and find space to walk in your own energy, try and find space to be on your own, try and find space and sit with a tree, try and find space and be by the sea, try and find time to be in the mountains, try and find time to be in the forests or the woods. Try your best to make effort to be that what you would do if you were going into a gym to build your muscles. You have to build your spiritual muscles. You have to build your energy field, and that is the way to do it. Part one. Part two is cleansing your body. Cleansing your body is vital, using the right oils, using the right incense, using the right cleansing materials and tools for your body. This is vital. And three, the emotional side of you. You have to take control of your mind, and you have to tell your mind to shut up and say to it, I will only switch you on when I need you. So I use my mind when I cross the road and look left and right. Fantastic, well done, great job, that's what you're there for. I'm there when I wake up in the morning to choose the colour of the clothes that I want, to make my breakfast and to read a book and to sign papers, contracts and so on. Well done, mind, that's what you're there for. But you are not there to start thinking about things that have no control over, that you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know your future, you just forget it, shut up and let your deep conscious thoughts, your your true mind, your true essence, your true knowledge and wisdom that resides here. Let this be the overpowering energy to shut your mind down and say, hey, that's this, you're not meant, that's not, sit down, calm down. I know you want to keep going. I know you don't want, like you're a bit like me, you don't want a full stop after any sentence. You want to keep going, but stop. So in other words, learn to meditate, learn to quieten yourself, learn to not bring forward negative thoughts from yourself and others. And when there is a negative thought from outside of your energy, be aware, move away, cleanse yourself, be aware that you don't want to be in that environment and you want to keep your environment as clean and as healthy as you possibly can. 35 minutes gone. I hope you have got at least one thing from this. Everything that I've done over these 20 years are all on markbajerski.com. Everything that I utilize on a day-to-day basis, my oils, my incense, everything that I use, my crystals, are all on markbajerski.com for you to have a look and see if anything jumps out at you and you think, oh, I'd like that. If not, go to your local crystal store, go to your local organic store, go to any family-run business that creates organic things and start to change your life that way. Again, guys, I'm sorry about the noise. This is very normal for me every day now, and it's something that I do my best to overcome by simply continuing to talk. And it always reminds me of being with Ajahn, the beautiful guru. He doesn't like that. When we sit and meditate and there's a fly and like everybody's doing this and he's got a fly in his nose and it just doesn't affect him. That's how we should be with the flies outside there trying to attack us daily. Don't let them affect you. You're amazing. You're as powerful as any Ajahn or anybody in this world. You just need to unlearn and begin a new life. That's it, really. That's all I've got to say. Have a great day. Take care. I hope you enjoyed this conversation.